What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything you need to know about what's going on here in our country on a daily basis. We got several things for you guys here in this video. We're going to jump right in here. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. Here we go. Okay, I want to remind you guys, I was one of the first people to break this story here. As you can see here from Forbes, COVID SNAP emergency benefits will expire nationwide next month. Now, these are the extra bonus benefits that are going on for about half the states, maybe a little bit more here. This article just came out here today. But I actually let you guys know about this here several days ago, actually. And yeah, unfortunately, this is true. So those extra $95 per month bonus benefits that tens of millions of Americans are getting are going to be ending next month, or next month will be the last month here, as you can see here. The SNAP program, SNAP recipients, also known as food stamps, may be surprised to find a reduction in their monthly benefits this spring. Emergency allotments of what used to be called food stamps have been in place for 2 years. These are extra pandemic bonuses on top of your normal allotments for about half or a little bit more of the states. But they're due to expire at the end of February under a new government spending bill. Since January 2021, eligible families have received a 15% boost in SNAP benefits with a maximum benefit based on household size instead of income. The increased benefits were intended to stop once the government declared an end to the COVID public health emergency. But although the public health emergency has been extended until April, the allotments will end earlier. That's right. That means that starting March 2023, SNAP benefits and eligibility qualifications will return to pre-pandemic status. How much will SNAP benefits change? Underneath the emergency allotment program, SNAP recipients received either an extra $95 per month or benefits up to the maximum amount of for their household size, whichever amount was greater. In March, recipients will stop receiving this increase, and the benefit amount will be either based on your household income rather than household size. I know this is unfortunate. Remember, I'm just the messenger. I unfortunately don't have any control over this. It was Congress actually passing the $1.7 trillion bill at the end of December. So the maximum monthly benefit recipients' household can receive has increased from 2022 levels. Some recipients may find themselves with a lower monthly allotment than they expect due to the expiration of the boost. And you can see the change in monthly benefits from fiscal 2022 to 2023. I believe this is without the boost here. So this will be what the household size of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, the maximum benefit boosts are here. Or I'm sorry, without the boost, because the boost will be no more unless Congress somehow brings it back, which is possible. You can call, email, tweet your senators and representatives because again, this is possible that something could come back or make a change. You can see here nearly half of the states have already ended emergency allotments. SNAP is a combination of federal and state programs. Leaders in some states expressed concerns that continued higher benefits would discourage people from seeking jobs in a tight labor market, which is honestly really sad. So 21 states have already opted out of the program, some states for a long time. The SNAP COVID boost expires on January 30th for 25 states and the District of Columbia with approved extensions. This is a little bit confusing here. It'll probably be easier to show you here. Here are the states that have approved new benefits. there's already some states already actually acknowledging February bonuses. So here is February. Remember, February hasn't even started yet, so don't get too excited or not excited if you're not on the list for February yet. But February's list already is California, Kansas, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Wisconsin for the bonuses. And January is Alabama, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, D.C., District of Columbia, Guam, U.S. Territory, Hawaii, Illinois, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. And honestly, January is not even over as well, so more states could be added here, and sometimes they are because it just takes some states time to get their paperwork in, and sometimes it takes them to the end of the month to kind of get on the list and stuff like that. So that's January. Some states are actually on the ball and have actually got February in there already. So, but unfortunately, it is going to be ending here after February, and I have confirmed this with the USDA. They have right here saying that because of Congress that has passed this law in the $1.7 trillion government benefit, the government funding bill, that they basically said here that the temporary boost to SNAP benefits put in place during the pandemic will end nationwide after the February 2023 issuance. And they basically went on to say that they were supposed to be temporary from the pandemic, et cetera, and that they're going to end after February. So I guess they were an added bonus while they lasted, but hopefully we will see maybe something added in here in the future to help out a little bit. Really, this was Congress, both Republicans and Democrats um, that did this. If you're looking for somebody to blame, remember that the $1.7 trillion bill was passed by both Republicans and Democrats here. They needed support from both parties to pass it, and it was part of a compromise to keep the bills of the government low. Remember, we're also seeing a push here right now from Republicans in the House that they want to cut spending even more, and we're Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that we're going to potentially reach the debt limit or the debt ceiling by Thursday of this week, and that they need to pass more funding just to keep the the entire government and the entire country um, open. And this is more important than government, like a government funding, or they have to do this just to pay interest bills and to pay any type of bill ever for the governments. And this actually goes to the heart of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and every type of bond payment, interest payments, and really just the full faith and credit of the United States as well. And this includes paying any type of past bill ever agreed upon by Congress as well. The debt limit, the debt ceiling is much more important than any government funding bill. We've had government shutdowns in the past, but this actually goes to like the full faith and credit of the United States. You can't default on anything that the U.S. has. So it's very, very important here, and we'll have to see what happens here because time's ticking here. And as of right now, I don't really know what's going to happen because they're not anywhere even close to an agreement. So I'll keep you up to date here, but Republicans and Democrats nowhere close to any type of agreement on anything at this point. So let me know your thoughts here. Another thing that seems to be going on here for quite a while and looks nowhere close to be ending is the Russia-Ukraine war, as Russia just did a totally just un terrible thing. I don't even have words for it. They struck a massive apartment building. Uh, 40 civilians dead already here in a massive. It's just a lack of words here. Yeah, and this will kind of give you an idea here of what they just attacked here, which is unbelievable here. And it's just words cannot express the type of crimes that are going on here because they're not and these are crimes underneath international law. They're not attacking military targets. I mean, look at this. Look at this target that they've just attacked here, and it's really just sad. It's really just sad here. Uh, the problem here is going forward. It looks like there's no end in sight to this war here for a long time. And how do we get it? How do we have an end to this war? Russia continues to fire these long range missiles to all parts of Ukraine. And really, most of the world suffering here, not just even Ukraine, as if it's not bad enough for them. But we continue to see higher gas prices than we could have, not even just us, but all around the world here. Higher food prices than we could have, grain prices than we could have, natural gas prices than we could have, and not even just us, all around the world here as well. And at this point, this war could go on for all of 2023 as well. So even though Russia has been pushed back thousands of kilometers here than what they had taken, when really Ukraine was kind of taken by surprise here at the beginning of the war, now they've fought back here as they've gotten more and more military supplies here, especially in the last several months. Um, Really, this just could go on for a long time, especially as Russia's strategy here in the last several months has just been less boots on the ground and more missile firings just from long range, where they're not even really putting a lot of troops at risk. Just fire missiles. Most of them get shot down, but several of them get through. And a lot of them aren't even on military targets. They're just firing them at random places. Wherever they happen to hit, they happen to hit. And if they hit a apartment complex with just hundreds of people living there, then you know what Russia says? Well, sorry, we didn't. And half the time, they don't even claim responsibility for it. They'll just say, oh, well, we didn't do it, or oh, well, or sorry. Just like literally everything that Russia says is just no responsibility at all, ever. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And just like what are their what are the consequences going to be? Nothing. Just like what does the world do here? And the main problem is that they have 6,000 nuclear bombs, nuclear weapons. So, like, what can be done here? Like, can the US, can the NATO, can the rest of the world hold them accountable by force? Not really, unless we want a nuclear war on our hands, which I don't think anybody does. So it's kind of like we've done as much as we can without causing a nuclear World War III. So, we've put all these economic sanctions on them. Pretty much most of the world isn't buying oil from them except for like, India and China and, a few countries like them. Most of Europe isn't buying oil and gas from them now. It's just, what do you do? What do you do? They're just going to kind of continue this war on probably until they're driven mostly out of Ukraine completely. And even then, they might just continue to keep firing missiles as well. What do you do? What do you do? If whether you're Biden, whether you're Trump, whether you were the president, whether you're the Ukrainian president, and the problem is, it's like you can't really negotiate with Putin because his type of negotiations are, okay, well, if you want to negotiate, you have to surrender to us. That's the negotiations. Yeah, his negotiations are surrender your land to us, put down all your weapons. You have to surrender all your weapons to us and promise to never become a part of any treaty, any alliance. You can't become a part of NATO. You can't become a part of any military alliance ever. And you have to surrender all your weapons and 15% of your country, thousands of miles of your territory to us. That's basically the terms of negotiation in terms of surrender. So it's just not realistic in any part of negotiation. It's just like imagine if you were the Ukrainian president and these were the terms of like negotiation. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Like who would do that type of negotiation? It's basically surrender. It's not negotiation, it's surrender. So you let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here. Also, we want to say happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, don't we, Snowy? Yeah, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And we, with my little sleepy little bear here, yeah. We want to say thanks for watching here. Let me know what you're doing here on today's holiday. Are you doing anything special here? Just enjoying the day off if you have it off here. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This way I'll keep you up to date here and you won't miss out on new videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon after after you subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos here. You can click over here to watch my newest video next. Here is another video I just did about new SNAP benefits you can use to actually increase your SNAP money. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.